Welcome back to Tailgate Talk. Today, we have the Super Bowl predictions, a little bit of a game breakdown. We're going to get straight to it. I want to talk about the keys for the Patriots and what they need to do to win. And I'm going to send that direction your way, Buck. You're going to have the table or the room, the microphone. Also, you guys need to subscribe. Please and thank you. We're doing a giveaway, 5,000 subscribers, signed football.
Signed football. All right. The keys for the Patriots, I think, is that their defense needs to look the exact same that it's looked this entire playoffs. They made Justin Herbert kind of look like a joke. They made Justin Herbert look like a joke. They made Stroud look like an entire comedy special.
I don't like the direction you're going in, Buck. I don't like where you're taking this right now.
Yeah. But then also, they played in the snow, which you can't really say anything about that. My main key is, I think, defense needs to look the same, and I do think Drake May needs to step up a little bit more. What do you have, though?
They played in a blizzard. That was not playing in snow. That was insanity. Ugly game to watch. One of my main points for the Patriots is, can you continue to run the ball collectively? You got the dual backs. We haven't seen a bunch of Henderson yet, but that doesn't mean it's not going to kick in. And in the snow game, I don't think he was built for that either. You've got Stevenson, who's been getting the majority of the carries. But maybe the big takeaway is Drake May. It's become kind of the ultimate scramble option. He's been running the ball throughout the regular season. I don't want to act as if this is something brand new, but averaging 14 yards a carry in the postseason is a crazy stat line. And I'm going to assume, maybe I'm projecting, Sam Darnold's not going to turn the ball over. At least not multiple times. We're not going to have a bunch of turnovers from Sam Darnold. I don't want to see that on a personal level, because that's kind of what's been helping out the Patriots. I would argue that Drake May has not had an impressive game yet. When you talked about the Chargers, Herbert couldn't get it going. I mean, he had the offensive line of pass blocking, middle school, what did you say, girl
flag football
or flag footballers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, nobody was there in that situation. I mean, Texans, it hurts my heart so much. You know, I'm a Texans guy. CJ Stroud just forfeited that game. Yeah, it's unbelievable, to the point that the group chats were maybe having accusations of some point foreshadowing this way or that way. I'm not going to get into that. And then the Snowfest. But either way, I think those are some of the big takeaways. And it's going to come down to Drake May has to throw the ball. And it's not something that's been lackluster. I just don't think you can win the Super Bowl. You're not going to win this game. You're not going to win this matchup without being able to have a successful pass offense. And we really haven't seen that thus far, but he hasn't needed it thus far either. They've been able to control the game via a lot of game management with the running game.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, too, they mentioned after the game, is that on paper, Drake May has played one of, the toughest schedules ever in terms of every team he's played against has been a top 10 defense. Like I kind of mentioned already, though, Herbert stunk it up, Stroud stunk it up, backup quarterback. So it all kind of evened out.
Backup QB in a Snowfest, and 7 of those points came off a fumble.
Yeah,
from Stidham. Yeah, it was a terrible game. They weren't moving the ball at all. That's all I'm saying, is that the Patriots have not moved the ball with any level of efficiency compared to what we had seen during the regular season. That's all I'm saying. I know it's versus the best defense. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's a fair statement. It is. We'll go ahead and we'll talk next about the Seahawks' key to victories. I think, obviously, them not turning it over is huge. The Patriots defense has basically won all their games off of these turnovers. Granted, the Stidham one, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but that is what it is.
A little shovel toss?
It is.
He had a couple passes that looked dodgy. And we made a video on this channel as well, Buck, talking about Stidham, because all the guys on ESPN were breaking it down that this guy's a locker room guy, he's a vibe guy, and we're sitting here saying, bro, he barely plays. He's never really been a backup that's meant to get minutes. We don't have anything to digest. These guys are out here reviewing tape from college. I'm like, this is a crazy takes. Crazy takes on ESPN for a guy that's been in the league, 6-7 years? And we got no pro highlights?
There's a lot of people that watch this channel that think we have crazy takes as well, too. So
fair enough.
That's the sports world.
Comment section below. Let us know. Let us know your predictions for this game.
I do think this is my only, I don't want to say critique, because I think that the Seahawks are so good on every single level. I think it needs to be more than just the JSN show as well. I think they're going to have a plan going into it for him. Granted, I think every NFL team's probably had a plan going into every game with him this season, and he still kicks ass every single game. So I don't know. I think more people need to get involved. I'd love to see Cooper Kupp get a little bit more involved. I think Kenneth Walker's going to have a game like he usually does. And we can talk about our predictions with maybe a few bets that we're placing towards the end of this with some of these players. But what do you have for the Seahawks?
It starts with Kenneth Walker. I mean, he's been the truth leading into the playoffs, and then of course in the playoffs, unstoppable. You see the injury, which could be a little bit of concern. You lost some of that duality, but he has stepped up in the biggest of ways, even receiving out of the backfield, big plays this way, super physical. And then it comes back to the defensive disruptiveness. They're going to force you into difficult decisions. And I mean, at the end of the day, defense wins championships, and we have to give some credit to the Pats. You can only play who's in front of you. We said that during the regular season, but the same in the playoffs. If these guys are going to turn the ball over, they're going to hold it too long. They're bad fumbles. It's not your fault, those takeaways. I really feel that the Seahawks just need to continue along their pathway. I mean, we said this 4 or 5 weeks into the channel, or 4 or 5 weeks into the season, that Seattle looks like a Super Bowl contention team or contending team, a team that can make a deep run. They got the defense, they have the offense, they have key players in key positions. Maybe the biggest question mark, and I'll throw this in for Seattle, Sam Darnold cannot have a off game or an off-putting game. He's had a couple of games this season, only a couple, that have been awful. I think of the Rams game where he had 4 interceptions, and they still played that game close, but 4 interceptions, you can't do that. I mean, we've seen that with CJ. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We can move on, but
that's a Stroud. That's a Stroud throwing package right there is what that is.
I don't like that. I don't like that. We've had a lot of in behind the scene conversations. I don't want to do that deep dive. It's going to make me very negative in this video. I'm not trying to go down that route. The point being, I don't think that Seattle has to necessarily change a lot. They've looked great throughout the year. To your point, maybe there's going to be some more superstars that step up. You got Bobo catching TDs. I don't know where the hell Bobo came from. I feel like I'd never seen this guy on snaps before.
The bench is where he's
super
been.
bench.
Yeah.
He was on the reserve. They activated him for the game. I mean, you probably got to have some targets to AJ Barner. You've got to have some targets to Cooper Kupp. And then JSN is just proving me, I don't want to say wrong, but just reestablishing this belief of elitism, because you know what's coming. You can't stop him. Double teams, doesn't matter. Find space. Best route runner in the game. I could go on and on. But that does not introduce, or does not consider maybe some X factors. I would even have said, before you get into your X factors and what could happen here, the Broncos game is a good example for the Patriots. That weather became the X factor. Yeah. Who's going to not turn the ball over or win the game of field position, basically, or what's going to happen here? Make the least amount of mistakes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. My X factor, I think, for it is the fact that, and once again, we never wish this to happen because I hate injuries, but the Seahawks are down to one starting running back, and that's basically it. If Kenneth Walker goes down, I don't know how that's really going to affect the game. Obviously not in a positive manner. It's not going to affect it, but he's my one where it's like, you got to keep him safe, I think, the entire game, because if he does go down, I think things can drastically shift, considering the fact that the majority of the offense goes through him and JSN.
And then for an X factor, I put in special teams. What Shaheed's been able to do, and Marcus Jones for the Patriots, it's likely to play a role. And now, how big of a role in terms of, are they going to run back a punt or a kickoff? That's
kickoff return, discussion. Start the game.
It can happen. I just think general field positioning, and also just think of the amount of games we've watched this year, Buck, where guys have dropped kickoffs, dropped punts, fumbles off these run backs, and it just shifts all of the momentum, especially if it came off of a defensive stop. There's nothing worse than big 3 and out, big defensive stop, whatever, some sort of stand, and then you receive the punt and you fumble the punt.
It's exactly what happened in the Rams game, where the dude fell over and it hit him. That you could say that cost him the game.
That? Yeah, all these guys practice. I know there's a lot of pressure, but there's not going to be any. The pressure's not getting less in the Super Bowl. So I'm just saying, I think special teams, I'm calling it now. I think special teams is going to play a big factor. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but I do believe it's going to not only play a big factor, but of course be an X factor, and it could go either way. Both these teams have elite level guys that return the kickoffs and special teams and make good reads and so forth. But, all eyes are on you. This is a little bit different pressure going into a Super Bowl. You're likely not to see another Super Bowl in your career. That's just a reality, which kind of nicely leads into our predictions. What do we have going on here? Who's winning? What you got for score lines, Buck? And then you talked about sports betting, so I'm assuming you've got some lines that you like.
There's a few things cooked up. There always is. I think the Seahawks are going to win. I think they just look so beyond dominant. And once again, we talked about the Drake May thing. He hasn't looked dominant this playoffs at all, regardless of the fact that he's played against some of these incredible teams. I think the Seahawks are going to win. And I think the score is going to be 31-27. And me and you are going to make a ton of money off of player props, because everybody's going to hit their over. We can manifest it a little bit.
I would love that for us.
Yeah.
That'd make me very happy. I'll do co-sign any sort of petition that we're getting involved in, send me an email with a DocuSign or bring together that manifestation. I got a 24-20 result for Seattle, even though I am not so secretly convinced that this will be scripted to go back to New England for some sort of celebration in Boston, Providence, and whatever's going on over there. They're going to come back. It's just been frustrating. If you're not a fan of Boston, to watch their sports teams have this much success in just our lifetime. I've seen the Bruins win, and I'm not even a huge NHL buff. We've seen, of course, the Patriots win title on title on title. We've seen the Red Sox win multiple times. We've seen the Celtics win. This is tough. This is tough right here. And I got to hear about it. I live in New York City. I got to hear about this all the time. I will also say this. I don't think this will be an ugly game. I'm not foreseeing a shootout, but I definitely do not believe this will be one of those nasty back and forth bunch of punts. I think we're going to see first downs, we're seeing points scored, and it's just going to come down to those key plays. But what do you have lined up for some of your sports bets? I have one written down.
I was going to say really quickly, first is the fact that I didn't realize we both have the Seahawks to win by 4. And we didn't talk about this at all beforehand. You said 24-20.
What's the line?
That's exactly why I grabbed my phone right now, is to see what the line was. It's Seahawks minus 4.5. Wow. So Vegas wants to screw us on 1 point right there is what it is. That's crazy. I had no idea what the line even was. I've just looked at some player props. My player prop, I've been pretty good so far this Super Bowl, so I'm sure I'm going to jinx it now, or this postseason.
Yeah, don't take any of this as betting advice. Just take a glance.
Unless you want to make money, then you can take it any way you want. Drake May passing yards, 225 passing yards is even money. I think they're going to be chasing the entire game. I could see him having one good drive in the fourth quarter. Patriots get a stop, and he gets an extra like 40, 50 yards, and I think he clears that line easily. That's my pick.
Okay, that's your pick. I've got also a Patriots pick. Henderson, who has not been good in the playoffs. I mean, barely got any touches in the last game, but that was more around the weather with the Broncos. Usually he's good for, I would say, anywhere between 8 to 12 carries, and you're going to get, I think, almost even money on 17.5.
That's
yards.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Which just seems look, I'm a value guy sometimes. I love a good straight for the people. Some people say I like a ladder and I could be an outdoorsman with the construction, right? I'm a wordsmith in the best of ways. But I love that. I love that from a value. Everything screams out like this is possible. If this guy gets even 8, 9, whatever, 10, you're getting what, a yard and a half? We'll be in the money.
1.7 yards.
I just break one.
Yeah.
I just need to break one.
On average, which is crazy. All right, those are our predictions. Comment below if you guys have any Super Bowl predictions as well.
Put your bets down below. We can go back to those.
Bets.
We can go back to the bets and we can see who's cooked up something nice. If you got a parlay, let us work.
Let us know. Once again, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you guys are brand new for that giveaway that's at 5,000. And we will see you guys next week.